Hello, fellow Strixhaven students. It is I, your Strixhaven gym coach, the OG GM, on a foggy Friday morning here in Ventura County. It's Vlogmas day 4? 3? I don't know. And it is December, Christmas shopping, which is where I'm going. But it's time to do another Vlogmas, and it's time to do another walk and talk. And today we are looking at my favorite D&D race and my favorite D&D class. And I don't know, for some reason I've always liked the shorter races in D&D. I have a deep love for the dwarves, probably because of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings and Thorin Oakenshield and those guys, and I have a deep love for halflings and or gnomes. In fact, 9 out of 10 times I will play a halfling, probably because the closest race to me is a halfling, even though I'm 6'1". But of course, under the new rules, thanks Wizards of the Coast, I can be a halfling and be 6'1". But I just have always loved everything about the Hobbit and the halflings and the idea of home and hearth and staying home and homing comfort and having a safe home to go to, and appreciation of neighbors and food and festivals and life, and just being able to sit and enjoy your garden and paint or draw. It's always been something that I liked. You know, never wanting to be in a fight, but always being the one that is there to support your friends if need be, but always trying to find other ways to resolve the conflict or avoid the conflict, or just stay home and let the conflict go. That's definitely me. Now, for my favorite D&D class, I've played all of them, and all of them hold a special place in my heart for one reason or another. Mostly because of what they represent, or like the Paladin, the lawful good, champion of justice, defender of the weak, final line against the dark. That Superman idea of the idol role model that you want to live up to. I wish I could be as good as a Paladin, but I know I never will be. But that Paladin, definitely always holds a special place. The Bard is another one, probably because the original Bard build was such a hardcore slog that it was almost impossible to reach. 5 levels of fighter, 5 levels of thief, 1 level of druid, and then your first level Bard, and bam! I mean, that was hard to accomplish in D&D terms back then. It would still be hard under 5th edition. I don't know if anyone ever does it. Sadly, most people have a very negative view of bards now, but I love the jack of all trades, ambassador, carrier of news idea that a bard was. So bards might be one of my favorites. Spellcasters have always held a special place in my heart. Again, creative problem solving with limited resources, and just the whole idea of playing a spellcaster, a wizard at first level with that 1 hit point, and trying to make it to 2nd level. That's just so hardcore. You just don't see that level of hardcore dedication to a character in 5th edition anymore, when you're starting with 6 hit points and multiple spells and infinite number of cantrips. But in the older versions of the game, where you're like, a D4, and I roll a 1, and I have no con mod because I put everything in intelligence, so I've got 1 hit point, and I've got to live for 1,500 experience points. Yeah, that was always hardcore, fun, awesome to just see if you could do it. But be that as it may, my favorite character class in Dungeons & Dragons is the Cleric. Because it's really the only class you need. There's nothing a Cleric cannot do. There's no problem a Cleric cannot solve. There's no role a Cleric cannot fill. They are the most versatile class in the game. They're the most broken class in the game. They can wear all the same armor that fighters can. They can use almost all the same weapons that every other class can. And if it's the weapon of their god, then they can use it too, even if it's normally a weapon they're not allowed. So they have the second best hit dice. They have the best saving throws. They can turn undead. They're the only class that just has a blanket ability to eliminate one whole foe group. Nobody else can do that, not even a wizard. Even if a wizard's, chalking out fireballs, there's still a chance he might miss somebody, or it might make their save, or it might be immune to fire. But Cleric turn undead, even at first level, he's like, nope, you can just turn around and walk away. I don't feel like fighting you. And the undead are like, oh, god damn it, all right, I guess I'll go. They can heal. They can harm. They have the best DPS spells. They have the best range spells. They definitely have the best buff spells. They have the most broken spell combinations. They can fight almost as good as a fighter. They can spellcast as good, if not better, than a wizard. They can be as diplomatic and multifunction as a rogue. And they can do as much, if not more, DPS than a mage. And of course, the healing and the buffs just make them the most broken class in the game, the most useful class in the game, the most versatile class in the game, the most imaginative class in the game, because you always have to come up with ways to use the spells to fill that role. With the proper build, they can be as good as the thief, if not better. Oh, well, you have a percentage chance to spot the trap? Wiggly wobbly, I just automatically spot the trap. You have a percentage chance to get us out of the dungeon? Wibbly wobbly, I automatically get us out of the dungeon. And I can heal everybody and buff everybody. And if worst comes to worst, I can pray to my god, and my god might send some help. Or at least answer a question. Or grant me a miracle. And unlike the wish spell, which is the highest level, ultimate wizard spell, miracle spell has no downside. Wish has downsides and limitations. The Cleric miracle spell is just like, yeah, it happens. It's a miracle. I don't have to explain it. So yeah, Cleric's definitely the most broken class in the game. And probably my favorite class. But if I was to pick a class that was the most like me, probably Halfling Rogue or Halfling Bard. Anyways, that is today's vlogmas questions. On the positive side, of course, we can't have a vlogmas without addressing all the controversy and ugliness of the tabletop role-playing game hobby this year. Happy holidays. Happy holidays, dog.
Good morning, yes.
Good morning to you, sir. But for now, let's just end it on a happy note of discussing our favorite D&D race and our favorite D&D class. And my favorite D&D race, Halfling, favorite D&D class, Bard or Cleric. I am the OGGM, your Grinchy guide to all the holiday tabletop role-playing game nonsense. If you appreciate this content and you want to hear more, consider hitting that subscribe button. Help me reach 1,000 subs, and I will grant the desire of those who actually want to see the cat and see my face by plugging in the decent camera. Till next time, see ya.